He was standing on the corner, singing some old song he'd wrote. You could feel his pain, he tried hard to sing each note. He wore the face of the homeless beneath a worn-out veteran's cap. He left home so full of life, but this kid never came back. He's a shell of a man, and no one needs him now. He can't hold a job, and who cares anyhow? He was barely 19, no more than just a kid. Though no bullet found its mark, he's more wounded than if it did. He was halfway through college, now his dreams are long gone. It hurts to hear him say, God, when can I go home? The meds, they calm him down as his eyes stare straight ahead. It was then I began to cry, as I've lived every word he said. He's a shell of a man, and no one needs him now. He can't hold a job, and who cares anyhow? He was barely 19, no more than just a kid. Though no bullet found its mark, he's more wounded than if it did. Someone whispered, does anyone know his name? They say he went to war, but he never came back the same. Then I heard someone say, why does he live this way? Lord, they don't understand, these torments never go away. He's a shell of a man, and no one needs him now. He can't hold a job, and who cares anyhow? He was barely 19, no more than just a kid. Though no bullet found its mark, he's more wounded than if it did. The meds, they calm him down as his eyes stare straight ahead.
Hello, I'm Jake Dailey, Disabled American Veterans, Department of Ohio Past District 2 Commander, and Dayton National Cemetery Support Committee Past Chair. Presently, I'm the Service Officer for AMVETS Post 1789 in Brookville and American Legion Post 215 in Eaton, Ohio. Today I present the 2016 Veterans Day message, and we are located today in the library of the Dayton, Ohio Masonic Center. We certainly thank them for the use of the room. Veterans Day is a day to honor veterans, living and dead. America began this century with an implacable enemy at its doorstep, and it has been made clear that as a nation we must confront the enmity of this brand of warfare, a type of warfare that will require a long-haul attitude to overcome. Our military, indeed our nation, must adapt to the unparalleled and savage threats. It seems America only responds well to disasters, to be undistracted by warnings. Our country seems unable to do all that must be done until there has been some awful calamity that validates the importance of the threat and or act. On this day, we recognize the men and women who have served in uniform. We've lived in such safety and comfort for so long, many Americans take our easy, carefree lifestyle for granted. However, there are those who face pain and death so others can be spared. Such was the case of two American veterans and their longtime friend. when they bravely stopped a terrorist attack in 2015. Airman First Class Spencer Stone, Army Specialist Alex Scarlatos, and Anthony Sadler could have run from the danger when a heavily armed gunman boarded the train they were on. Instead, Specialist Scarlatos said, "Let's go," as the men ran toward a future that could easily have meant instant death or maiming for them and all the other innocent people within range. Fortunately, this story is mostly remembered not for the heroic tragedy that nearly happened, but for the heroism that did. Even after receiving serious stab wounds that were inflicted as he disarmed the gunman, Airman Stone administered life-saving first aid to a passenger that had been shot. The terrorist was carrying 270 rounds of ammunition, but because of the actions of these three young Americans, the death toll aboard the train was 0. And while we take nothing away from the heroic actions of Spencer, Alec, and Anthony, America's military men and women risk life and limb every day so that we can enjoy our freedom and liberty. From Bunker Hill to Baghdad, there has always been a select group of Americans willing to fight and die for a cause greater than self-preservation. An example of this would be the service member covering a hand grenade with their body to save their buddies and the mission. Because we set aside November 11th as a special day to honor and remember our veterans, we should continuously endeavor to serve our veterans as well as they have served our nation. We must honor all of their family with more than blue and gold stars, banners, but with compassionate hearts, because traumatic brain injury and life-throttling wounds not only affect the veteran, they take an enormous toll on the family as well. Sometimes all that is needed is a heartfelt and simple thank you, and directed to the veteran or their family member for his or her service and sacrifice. Part of that sacrifice too often includes unemployment or underemployment when the veteran's military service is over. Companies should understand that it's smart business to hire veterans, and when members of the Guard and Reserve deploy, it is America's business to ensure that their civilian careers do not suffer. Can any CEO or a distinguished Ivy League graduate truly claim to have more responsibility than the 21-year-old squad leader walking point on patrol in Iraq or Afghanistan? Fewer than 10% of Americans can claim the title veteran, and less than 1% of our population is currently defending us in the global war on terrorism. And yet, many seem intent on trying to balance the federal budget by diminishing the quality of life programs for the families who have already disproportionately made agonizing sacrifices. As General Washington once cautioned us when he said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation." Veterans have given us freedom, security, and the greatest nation on earth. It is impossible to put a price on that. And we must not forget the unique needs of our women veterans. There are approximately 2 million women in America today who have worn the uniforms of our military services: Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Women are major contributors to our military readiness, and many have given their lives in the global war on terrorism. As a matter of fact, approximately 20% of the U.S. military is female today. And the VA must adequately treat breast and cervical cancer as well as trauma that may have resulted from domestic violence, sexual harassment, and assault. It is tragic that the men and women who allow us to be safe in our homes are often without homes themselves when they shed their uniforms. 1 in 4 of America's homeless population are veterans. 9 out of 10 were honorably discharged, and nearly half served during the Vietnam War. Too often, today's tattered citizen of the street was yesterday's toast of the town in a crisp uniform with rows of shining medals. This situation is hardly the thanks of a grateful nation. And while fewer than 10% of Americans can claim the honorable title U.S. military veteran, this special group often provides the vital services that enable our communities to function. In the words of Veterans of Foreign Wars past National Commander John W. Stroud, November 11 is the day to celebrate what veterans have given, not only to the nation's defense, but to its continuing growth as a society. Countless veterans have made invaluable contributions to every sphere of American life since this nation's birth. Chances are that if you surveyed your local police or fire department, you would find a disproportionately high percentage of its members are veterans. When an emergency hits, there is a good chance that it is a veteran that is the first responder. Whether it's a school teacher, construction worker, or first responder, military veterans take their missions seriously. They vote in higher numbers than non-veterans. They are more likely to volunteer in their communities, and they are less likely to live in poverty. In short, veterans make our communities better. And as a result of their extraordinary accomplishments comes our extraordinary debt. For those accomplishments and their dedication, we must always be grateful. We must always remember that each veteran represents an oath taken that included a willingness to die for this country if called upon. I am reminded of a saying, which I think is correct and direct to the point. A veteran is someone who at one point in their life wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. That is dedication. That is patriotism. That is honor. It is what President Lincoln characterized as the last full measure of devotion. And whenever we hear a politician rail about the high cost of veterans' benefits, it is up to us to remind the critic about the high cost of being a veteran. It has amounted to a tremendous cost in blood, sweat, illness, disabling injuries, missing limbs, shattered lives, and broken families. A sacrifice that has produced and protected the greatest nation on earth. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless our veterans, and God bless America.
They're telling about it and stuff like that. Some of these World War II movies, clips of the government, the original movies of it, seeing some of them.
My uncle brought back
Stuff like
German
that.
Mauser,
Well,
30 caliber.
I got a question.
30 caliber.
There was a talk
But
show,
they had some similar
and they
to
were
that, but it
talking
wasn't,
about the war and how the
Mauser,
ducks
you know how
saved
many
it.
Mausers?
And the woman said, why did those soldiers jump
Well,
off of that?
I
Because
was
they're
asking
running,
you, what-
in Normandy,
what
you're
do you
jumping
do?
off of that and going in the water and getting executed. And they said, well, that the captain of the duck, or whoever was driving the duck, was ordered that if they don't get
All
off,
right.
to shoot them in the back. Is that true?
Right, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It really is true.
As long as you don't call it.
We're talking about World War II or World War One?
World War II.
Right.
Omaha
When they were taking Normandy.
I'll tell you guys a true story about that. I have a friend up north in Cleveland. His name's Joe Tata. Loves to sing karaoke. As a matter of fact, he's got my video on him. He's got more hits than any other video on my YouTube page.
Okay, watch my
Joe
asking questions
is
about
Japanese.
the, have the.
Joe actually served in the United States Army during the Japanese invasion,
On the grip.
and he was at
But I guess if you
Normandy.
turn it upside down, you'll never see.
And Joe is not a big man of stature at all. Joe, if he's lucky, he's 5 foot tall. And if he's real lucky, he weighs 120 pounds. But Joe's 95 now.
Wow.
Yes.
And Joe when he jumped off of the insertion vehicles, what the hell were they called? You guys gotta help me. From the ships in the water. LSTs. That's what I wanna think of them as. Landing craft. When he jumped off the landing craft, Joe actually pulled 3 guys out of the water that were floating face down that was 4 times his size and height and weight.
Wow.
That, along with their equipment, being soaked with that ocean water made those guys much, much heavier. And Joe actually revived 2 of them and brought them back
Wow.
with CPR training and things of this nature. Then Joe just went on and did his thing. You know, his family at the same time was being drug out of their home here and hauled to an internment camp because they were all Japanese. And, you know, our government at the time feared the Japanese that were already within our borders to the point where they actually gathered them all up and put them in,
Concentration.
yeah, put them in concentration camps. Yeah. And Joe was just an awesome man. You had to meet Joe
So he served
in the United States Army during World War II when,
surprised he didn't end up in one of them camps.
well, he had already enlisted and been in,
Oh,
okay, before the actual, yeah, before Pearl Harbor and the actual declaration of war, and he had already been enlisted. Yeah.
he was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. But what was sad about it was when I've known Joe for years, and he still has a problem with thinking about his family being drug out of the home and put in an intern camp. And he doesn't hold any grudges, okay? But every now and then when you talk to him about that, he gets a little tear comes out of his eye because he thinks about his wife, and that was a pretty horrific experience for his wife, being drug out and put into a camp like that, knowing that her husband was over fighting for this country in this country's military on foreign,
His own country.
yeah, against his own country, exactly. So. And that's Joe Tata, and you guys can actually go up on my website, up in the karaoke section. I don't have him in the for our veterans section, and I don't know why. Maybe I should put him in there, but in the karaoke, because Joe loved to sing karaoke, and you can see him. You'll see him getting up on the stage with that microphone and doing, and he's still alive. I just talked to him 2 weeks ago on the phone.
Sounds good.
So we keep in touch, and you see him singing, and it's pretty awesome just to see him do that at that age, and when you think about his background and what he did. So.
Yep. It is.
Ready, Joe?
What you up to?
Coming to keep.
Too much?
Yeah. Stirring pot.
Me?
Looks like one that could be up to no good.
Yeah, that's
my name.
Here you go. When you
No good?
have a seat, we'll just pull it out.
What do you think none is for?
None of your business.
Not what I think. That's good.
None of your business.
Yeah, we went and picked up another trailer.
Another trailer?
Yeah, kitchen trailer this time.
Yeah, right.
Now,
big one.
Now is it complete?
The complete
What
newer
year?
model kitchen trailer.
What year?
from?
Kansas.
What years?
It's a 2005, I think.
But, so what, I know it doesn't call kitchen, so what is it?
Huh?
What did you get this trailer for?
It's
Kitchen.
What does it
Two
carry?
big stoves, kitchens, you know.
Is it cooked?
Oh, it really
Cook
is a cook
stove.
stove.
I got a
Okay.
grill. I got
You
4.
went clear to Kansas?
We're not Dave, you play pranks on me.
So you're set. Yeah.
We hope we're set.
Yeah. Tell them what you heard about last night.
So what are you gonna do with that?
Set it up and start cooking meals.
Where?
When it, like, we'll do it here next May.
Okay.
Got your back? Good for you.
SOS.
It'll be Memorial Day
I
weekend.
want some SOS.
You was here during Memorial Day. Yeah, you were over.
You went all the way to Kansas to get it.
Who's the guy
Yeah.
that cooks? Who's the other guy?
It's Ken.
Give Ken a break. Or
Have
no.
a backup.
Help him out.
Yeah,
It'll
We'll
be
do
Jim. Jim will probably be cooking his motion.
yeah. But, and bought all those cookbooks and everything to go with it.
Way to go.
Now, Jim, I'll tell you what you need to do.
What's that?
I have a lot of resources that you're unaware of. You make me a list of ingredients you need to cook that day, and I'll see what I can do about gathering up some of that stuff for you so you don't have to do so much out of your pocket. Okay?
You're on.
And you got my card, you
I
email
got your
me.
card.
You email me that list, and I'll see what I can do. I'm not gonna make you no promises, but I have a lot of businesses on my website and my company over in Inglewood that donate and help out with that kind of stuff. I just have to sometimes go stand in front of them and say, give it up. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to learn how to do a little bit, you know.
Well,
Give it up.
you need to follow me around a little bit.
Can I be a puppy dog behind you?
You can do that,
All
so.
right, I appreciate
You're not gonna
it.
get anything unless you ask.
That
Yeah,
is
what
very
is your,
true.
you said you have a YouTube
Are you gonna
page.
bring
Yeah.
May I have a card?
Sure you can.
Huh?
a tent with the stuff in it?
Oh, all the tents will be here.
He's just a boy starting a life, just out of school, now ready to fight. Because he's an American hero, giving a life. He's barely started out on the
I had to share a moment with these guys here, folks. But so then he asked me who I was, and I told the MP in a rather rough way. And then my buddies just kind of looked at me and said, "You are making a very serious mistake right now, Maynard. You need to just shut up and lay back down." So I did, and then I heard that MP tell my buddies, "You take him back to the barracks, and we don't want to get any calls about him tonight." So that's what ended up there. So, but
Yeah.
MPs, they had to do their thing, just like we had to do ours. And if you guys weren't around when we were doing ours, you couldn't keep us out of trouble sometimes, because we were pretty wild bunch of group there back in my day. So, but thank
It's
you.
just like my daughter, when she signed up for the Air Force, they says, well, we're going to put you in the medical division because she went through the Girl Scouts and she was doing the medical career with the base hospital here in Wright Pat. And everything was signed up and promising and all this. Well, she got to Lackland going through basic training. Military come along, or the Air Force came along and says, we need all kinds of military police. They took the whole squad, whole flight, from 2 flights that she was with, put them in the military police. She says, well, I'm not doing medical, Dad. And I says, what? She says, no. She says, they're letting me have some big weapon. What are you talking about? Oh, I guess I'm going to get maybe an M60.
M60.
Uh-huh. I says, what? She says, well, I did so good on the rifle, and I did so good in the pistol. They're moving me up the scale. And I says, okay. I says, you're only 5'2". How you gonna move something that big?
Yeah. So she became an air policeman.
She's an air policeman today, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's still in?
She's still in.
And
Yeah.
you see her, tell her I said thank you for her service.
I will. I will.
And then pass my Buckeyenest information along. Because I'll tell you guys something. When you go up on that website, you'll see a text link there that says 4-hour veterans. You click on that, and I've got 5 organizations in there that will help you guys out and your daughter with everything up to and including rebuild your house if it burns down. All you gotta do is just drop that pride and make that phone call.
Lunch is in there. Okay.
Okay. Lunch is here.
Lunch is here.
Yeah. Thank you, Arby's.
Well-
In Inglewood, they donated all the sandwiches that you guys are about to
Whoa.
partake of. So,
Well, my deal on the MP, my dad was stationed in Panama during World War II, and he didn't drink. What do you want to do in Panama? You hang around with guys.
Right.
They go in to the bars, and they get drunk, and then they head back to the barracks, and he said it was MPs at the time, would get them, and if you staggered just a little, they would beat the heck out of you. So he was very, he didn't like MPs. That's why I kind of hesitate with it.
I only ever had that
I'm
one.
finding out now that it was probably the shore police.
Yeah.
Because the-
Navy guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't like the Army guys.
No. Swabbies. So,
But I only had that one brush with the MPs. I had, which you might consider an official brush, but the guy at the gate was pretty cool. He could have hauled my butt out of the back of that car and probably locked me up if he wanted to, but because we all know military law is totally different from civilian law. So, but he was cool, and he just said, take him back to the barracks. We don't want to get any calls about him tonight. So they did. So, did you serve in the military, sir?
No.
You did, sir.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, and these 2 guys will agree with me when I make this statement.
Yeah.
If you don't do what you do, we can't do what we did. That makes you part of the team, doesn't it? Because some way or another, whatever you do interacts with what we end up having to do.
serve.
Did you serve, sir?
Yes.
What branch did you serve in?
What am I supposed to say?
Well,
You didn't serve.
no, you didn't serve?
Marine Corps.
Marines, okay. All right. And this is Mark. He's a retired Master Sergeant from the Air Force. And believe it or not, I have to let Mark talk about what he wants to talk about because he's a retired Master Sergeant from the Air Force.
I'm just here to say lunch is here.
Oh, okay. All right then, well, let's turn the camera off and go eat because there's the ladies up there on the porch too. And I know those sandwiches are going to get cold if we don't go eat them.